This is Alpha Spiritual Talk where we talking with the spirit. Yo, we back. Episode 10. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start it off with just some major, or maybe not some major, just some current event topics right now. We have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson setting up to do a live boxing match on Netflix. So let's Okay, the matchup is looking like it's gonna be something serious, right? It's very interesting to me because honestly, I feel like Jake Paul has honestly somehow figured a way to rig a system into making uh millions of dollars. Like, so much money off of what he's done, scripted boxing, or whether it just be fighting names to where it gets people like, whoa, who's this guy think he is fighting this guy? Like, or fighting people who are just not as well equipped to really fight. It's very interesting to me that he chooses somebody who I feel like can still put somebody in a in a bad situation. Mike Tyson. He's a one of one human specimen in terms of his fighting ability. Excuse me, guys. His fighting ability and the fact that he has to and the fact that he's at this age still able, he's like durable. Like his longevity is kind of like how some might say LeBron James in terms of the specimen side, like the one of one human nature type stuff. Because some people or most people might, not most, but more some people or a small amount of people might say that he's on PEDs. Now, Mike Tyson seems to be organically, because he's kind of always been like this. But you can see how he worked his way into being in one of the best shapes at 52 or 53. However old he is, he's definitely above the normal age that it is to box. So it's kind of interesting. But I feel like out of all 50-something-year-olds or 60-something-year-olds, in terms of in the ring, the person I will bet my all my money on is Mike Tyson. Even though some people there were videos of him walking with a cane around 2 years ago, which is kind of messed up for Jake Paul to even try to even like orchestrate a fight with somebody who was just recently in that type of situation. But with the recent videos of Mike Tyson actually boxing, you can really see Mike Tyson really just hitting jabs and like hitting his footwork and everything is still crisp. Like it's somehow like it's abnormal. Like it's really great though. Like, if someone would really learn how to be the best, I mean, he's the definition of it, and his power is still there. His punching power looks ridiculous in his training sessions. I would never want to stand in the ring with him, even if he was like 60. I would have to try to get him when he around 80, maybe 70. I'm not, because Mike Tyson, he just looks like he's built a little different. But that's basically all I have on Mike Tyson for the beginning. But I kind of wanted to get into what Adam22 said about Joe Budden, which is going to be like, oh, people are going to be like, what? Yeah, Adam22, I don't know if people really heard this. I guess he might have got away with it, but he talked to Danny from the Stop, shout out Danny from the Stop, because he's, one of the people who, helped Joe Budden's brand as well, you know what I'm saying? Like Chigs, there's other people on YouTube, a lot of people that really help his brand. So he really went on, right? I'm gonna play the audio for you
the
guys.
Amounts. To me, that's on the.
So he basically did an interview with Danny from the Stop, and this was a snippet from it. So I'm gonna play the snippet from it. And Adam22 really sent some shots on Joe Budden. I just found it kind of disrespectful. But you guys, if you guys are on my platform, on my YouTube channel, Alpha Media Room, which is separate from Alpha Spiritual Talk, but kind of works together, right? But either way, same entity. So, well, basically, what I'm saying is, that we always record the spaces, we release the spaces, we try to like stay up to date on it too. We try to like really make sure we get it out to the world who really never got the chance to hear it, or don't really be on apps, or don't really be on social media as much, and get to really hear Joe Budden in a more candid way, right, for a long period amount of time. So Adam22 went on to say these. Let's just say this. Let's see.
Amounts. To me, that's almost like a sickness that you require so much feedback, and you're so in need of connection, and you're apparently not getting enough of it from your friends and your romantic relationships, that you like have to kind of constantly, like, I don't know how much of attention you paid to Lush, but that was ultimately what kind of,
I like Lush,
caused a lot of our breakup at a certain point. I feel like, is that it was just like he needed too much affirmation from the fans and from other people, and it led to him being a leaky ship on Reddit and Discord and whatnot. To give more credit to my op, Joe Budden, I think he said, like, y'all are competing with me when I just do this for fun.
Okay.
Which we all do it for money as well.
Yeah.
But
So honestly, this is one of the, weirdest thing to do is to really diagnose Joe Budden, but then not to just even like give it an understanding or try to understand what Danny from the South. Because Danny from the South, I didn't play his part, but he basically responded with that, basically with an Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding, metaphor, talking about like, when he's finished bodybuilding, he goes and he does some other things that might be considered lifting weights and doing all this stuff on the side. So even when he's working, because Adam 22 is like, oh, when I'm done podcasting, I just go and I just relax and watch TV shows and da-da-da. Well, that's you. Like, Joe Budden might be someone, when he's done, he goes and he work on his craft. Like, you might be, who can I compare him to? Because I want to say, I don't want to say any of these sports people, because I just feel like Adam 22, he's a great, for what he does for his market of people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to bash this guy, because I don't really know him and stuff like that. But he's to me not like Joe Budden. Like, for all sakes and purposes of respect, I mean, Joe Budden podcast is number one. Like, in terms of just media itself. I mean, if you want to put Joe Rogan, it's Joe Rogan and Joe Budden. All the Joes are really popping as of late. You know what I'm saying? Except for the Biden, we don't like him, right? But for and Rogan, we don't really like Rogan. I don't like Rogan either. I don't like no white Joe. All right. All right, because all the white ones is very weird, and they really disrespect the culture. They really use black people as pawns. But Joe Budden is very, to me, like, he gives himself out to the world a lot more than any other celebrities that I've seen in recent memory. Right, Adam 22 to me is like projecting, and it makes sense why he sounds, sometimes lazy and sluggish when he speaks, and the way he talks. He's a very, I guess that's a Cali chilled white boy, Cali skateboarder energy, right? Joe is made it to number one by doing these things, by doing these genius tactics. He was stating doing this for fun, on his way, and that's his way of enjoying himself. And he even says it on the spaces. I mean, that's just his way. It's more like Kobe Bryant for all sakes and purposes. He said that he utilizes his 24 hours differently. When Kobe would be in the gym, he's in the gym. When Kobe would be in the gym, after he's in the gym, he's recovering, he's studying the film, and he still all has time for his family at the same time. It's not like he's like disconnected. And that's like what Adam 22 is trying to put on Joe Budden, as if he's on there every single day. But if, to me, he's like, as someone who actually records and does his videos and all of this stuff like that and uploads, he's not on it every single day. It's like consistently, periodically. So I would say maybe one in a week, maybe one every 2 weeks, maybe sometimes, if it's lucky, two in a week, just off of the drama that comes back to back. But 9 times out of 10 is not. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, and he just really went crazy on it recently in the past. He just really started in December, really, of 2023. Like, it's like give the man a break. Like, you guys just nobody's really happy with anything, and that's what I realized. You really can't make people happy. But it's very interesting because Adam 22 reminds me of DJ Vlad. They want to milk people's money and gatekeep their content. Joe literally be letting people, like me, Danny from Stop, Chigs, other people just eat basically off of, what he creates, the stuff that he creates, and let us, morph it and create our own content off of it. And that's to me is dope as someone that's not gatekeeping their thing. Because you might have, and situations are obviously going to happen when you have a public setting and people's talking. So when we talk about toxicity and negativity and all that stuff, that happens when you bring just a bunch of people in a closed, like, in the app. Like, that's just the world. Like, it's the internet. Like, you guys are taking it so seriously, right? But it's like most people want most celebrities to be like, oh, they don't even know that you're alive. How are you a fan of someone that don't even know that you're there? They don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, but like at the same time, really think about the fact of how this person allowed himself to be accessible to his fans compared to some of your favorite celebrities who you don't even have access to. And even if you do have access to them, you can't easily access them, right? And also, they might not even give you enough of their personality because they hide behind being mysterious and only tell you what the PR tells you. And the media trained people tells them to do. You know what I'm saying? So Joe is one of them, one of the ones that's actually give back. You know what I'm saying? Although he likes and enjoy these conversations, I feel like just being able to give back to, let's say, the Patreon subscribers who are most likely going to be the speakers that are on the spaces anyway, because they really, support Joe. So it's like his Patreon subscribers, they get to pay for top tier exclusive content, and on top of that, they get to talk to Joe on Twitter Spaces if they catch him in time. You know what I'm saying? So and the guy continuously goes viral. It's not like they're saying it as if it's hindering his content and like, oh, how does he have enough time to talk? Like, come on, what type of does that even, you guys think about that? Does that even make sense? He's dissing someone for talking to people. So, I just feel like it's disrespectful, So when y'all say these mean celebrities, like who say screw y'all, like Doja Cat, or DJ Vlad, who when he wants to talk to you or when you want to use a clip, you got to owe him and do an interview where he's going to profit millions off of your name. Like, what kind of person y'all want is the real question, right? But people will never be satisfied. And that's one thing I've noticed while doing stuff that's creative, is you'll never get 100% satisfactory. And that's obviously, it would be insane to even think that you would, right? But that goes along these lines. Trusting the process, the things that make you the biggest podcast in the world is what you should continue to do. And I feel like that is what Joe does. He talks to people. If you watch the Twitter Spaces, he's been on Clubhouse. Danny from the Stop said he was on Reddit. Like, the dude has always been someone who speaks. Like, he's a rapper. Like, he's a poet. He's an oracle. Is a poet. Like, someone who just speaks. You know what I'm saying? A griot, right? So that's his way of having fun. Adam's way of having fun might be to go have his girlfriend be with a giant. All right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So, sports beef, podcast beef, music beef, all of this beef, I like it in the end of the day because it's still, that's how it lets you know it's a sport. That's how it lets me know that it's something that's, competitive. And I heard Joe Budden say something like that in his recent Twitter Spaces. He said something like, I wouldn't have done it if it was beef or if it was competitive. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would be boring to him. So this is really a sport to him. You guys just got to understand, rap is a sport, and it's, being creative and speaking. So when somebody goes to potting who was that, they still have that energy, that fervor. They just took it to a more podcast way of it. So you guys got to understand, man, it's creative. And I feel like that's his market. His market understands that. Adam 22 is on the other side of America if Joe Budden's on the other side of America. One is east, one is west. Like, so clearly they're going to have some different types of, thinking styles. But Adam 22 is, to me, way out of line to even diagnose him or even say the word sickness. Like, he just really wanted to get off his hate for Joe Budden because clearly he really hates Joe Budden. And Joe Budden really hasn't went full Joe Budden on him, like on a response. But I feel like if he keeps doing this, he's gonna get a response, and it's gonna get really, really juicy for the people who really just tune in and who might like podcast beefs. Just off of the content itself that it creates. It's a revolving door in the spinning wheel of content creation. You know what I'm saying? People are playing songs in the background in the neighborhood, so you might hear that. But we're going to go to our next topic, which I have Corey Holcomb is roasting Shannon Sharpe, right? And he's claiming that Shannon Sharpe is wearing a purse, right? I mean, of course he is. From the viral video, I'm pretty sure you guys all noticed that Shannon Sharpe was wearing some man purse and some green tight clothing and hips all out of replacements from hip replacement surgeries and knee surgeries. And not even that, it's just even the way his mannerisms. People always just point out to the, surgeries. I'm not even looking at surgery. I can clearly tell, I already know that he went to surgery. We all do. But it's like people always try to protect people who are on the down low. The down low people are the ones that I dislike. Like down low people like Shannon Sharpe. He's really in Dwight Howard. Like, dude, you guys were on the down low. You guys couldn't have been man enough to really just tell the world that this is who you are, this is what you prefer. You really want to play down low and act like everybody is stupid and have your fans support you, got them looking stupid. Because I don't know how you're going to tell me that as a straight man. I've constantly said this in constant YouTube videos, not just outing the person off of their sexuality, because I do not basically, I'm not someone who hates you for what you love. Like, I feel like you should obviously love who you love. But I don't like deceivers, you know, people who deceive people. Like, if you go on the first date and you tell someone that you're a woman, right, but you're really a man, that's deceiving, right? So Shannon Sharpe is really deceiving people with his sexuality. You can't go on the first date and to the whole entire world and let them know this is who you is, and just because you might have children, because there's a lot of gay people in the world that do have children, because there's certain systematics and stuff about them coming out and them not being comfortable, and them having to show, you know, their families and all this stuff that they're straight and all this stuff like that, right? So much stuff that goes on. So obviously he's gonna have that, but you have yet to see him with any female in the last maybe 20 years. The whole time I've been alive, I have not seen him with one. Right, so of course his children, I wouldn't have even known that he even had one until his last day of Undisputed, where he brings up his daughter and he's, you know, grabbing on her waist side really close to her bottom, which is very interesting. That's only, to me, a gay man will hold a woman like that, because no, obviously straight man will hold their daughter like that, which is it's just weird. It's obviously weird to me. I wouldn't even say a gay man should, but I'm just saying that the optics doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's very disrespectful. But either way, I'm going to play what Corey Holcomb said. I just want to get my thoughts out before I play it, because it's about a good 5 minutes. Shout out Corey Holcomb podcast, the 515 show. They do a very good job. So let's keep it going. We talk with the spirit, and you know, we trying to change things up. We trying to futuristic our approach on a lot of this stuff, because we're not new to the pod, but we're kind of new to the system of, you know, creating great content. How about that? That might be the best way to do it.
He gets mad. He feels like we're hating on him.
I don't know. I think after this thing, there's no way that he can't see that. Look, it's jokes now. Come on, that was kind of cute. He little.
Is it just jokes? Is he misunderstood?
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Is he misunderstood?
There it is. Yeah. He's a.
I don't know.
I don't want to use. I'll be careful with him.
I don't know. I don't think.
He's a peculiar fellow.
I don't think these many people are misunderstanding what's happening. I think what's happening is what's happening, and we're trained to act like we don't see what's happening. Yeah, I mean, like, yo, that's the homie. The homie said he looked like one of them big swole niggas to be in jail on that.
I think
that's how they be.
It doesn't help that he wears the fitted clothing like that, and he's, forgive me, Shannon, but he's pigeon-toed and very bow-legged. So it looked a little knock-kneed. I mean, knock-kneed and pigeon-toed. It just doesn't look. I'm not
going to go into this hate on Shannon Sharpe.
I like him. I don't have any problem.
From what I've heard, that was a real purse. That was a real purse.
What do you mean? What? Okay, what qualifies as a real purse?
This is what I'm saying. How many excuses are we finna make for this brother? This is what I'm saying. What do you mean? What qualifies as a real purse?
Well, no, I'm asking you because when you said real purse, I've never heard that. What do you mean a real purse?
I've been up to Atlanta near Clark University, and I see all of the guys who are just like that walking with real Chanel purses.
Yep.
And people from Atlanta know what I'm talking about. The Fruit Booty College in Atlanta has, like, it's like you won't believe it if you don't see it, because, like, it's like.
That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You guys don't realize I've seen him as a person. I've seen many people just like Shannon Sharpe in my entire life, because you kind of come by that, especially when you move around as much as I have. I've seen different types of people, and he fits the mold of exactly what he's about to describe.
Like these schools, what is the boys' school down there? Oh my God, they get purses. They dress like that, but some of them more obvious. I mean, I'm saying, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you want to try to defend that, somebody who's his friend or a fan, you go ahead, because he was like, when he was saying, why are they calling me gay? Where are they getting this from? I'm like, what? Dude, I mean, like, we're not against you, bro.
No.
But I think you're against us because you know we beat you. And I don't think that's fair, man. Like, come on, man. If you're not, you're not, man. But what, after that door closed in that SUV, I said, God damn, look at him. You had the real switch on, boy. You had that. I be putting it on him ass, motherfucking ass. Goddamn it ass. Stand their ass. You dig? Let me see. Corey sent you a movie, boy. What they say right there? $9.99. What do you say?
I didn't see it. Let's see real quick.
$9.99. Corey, since you a movie buff, you gotta see Dune 2 in theater. Gotta hear you yell at D that you're the Duke. Oh,
inside joke.
I don't know. I ain't up on it.
I haven't seen
I ain't
it.
up on it. But I ain't gonna spend a lot of time with Shannon Sharpe. I just wanted to say, man, everybody in the nation saw it. Some of the reenactments are very funny.
Yeah, I gotta get that was pretty damn funny. My face hurts. I couldn't believe it.
I mean,
the reenactments are absolutely hilarious.
I'm like, yo, how is he gonna defend this? Is he gonna act like people are hating on him again?
No, I hope he chooses to just
Go get the wine. Whoopty whoopty whoopty.
What's up, Shannon? We need someone to share the wine with.
He gonna fuck you in the ass.
Shut up! Oh my
He ain't gonna want that pussy. He gonna be like, oh, you want me to fuck you pussy too?
I don't even know, man. I don't know why he said that. That's just too much. Anyway, either way, Shannon Sharpe is someone that we know is someone who's playing both sides. I've constantly said this. People take truth as hate. I told you all that this year is the year of truth. 2024 is the year of explosion and truth. The truth will come out because this was written thousands of years ago, that this is the era, the time that things will change, meaning that every single person who has something under, like the rock that's under, like, you know, the skeletons in the closet, and especially Hollywood, the celebrities first, because they do the most evil and the most dirt to become that, and they're actually deceiving the public, and they've said a whole bunch of messed up stuff to different people and hurt a lot of people different lives, and you guys don't remember these things, but there's one person who do, the Most High. There's one entity that does, the Most High. There's, you know, there's a universal law, and right now it's the universal law period of where the universe is responding back. Everything, and I mean everything, from the Ryan Garcia situations to the Kanye West conversations or preach, or some people might call it rant, from to even the Epstein list, to the Diddy getting exposed, to the Meek Mills getting exposed. Everybody has to, because this is the time where all of the false prophets, all of the people who are using people who are being evil and got away with it for thousands of years, this is the time where they all get exposed and everything has to reset. This is the reset period. So everything has to, the earth is cleansing itself from the evil. And that's what's really going on. And this is just only was brought up because of the Shannon Sharpe situation, because Shannon Sharpe is deceiving. That's what I'm talking about. He's deceiving the world. He keeps denying what the truth is. He told us in the Monique interview that his grandmother said never respond to a lie. Well, he's constantly been responding to this one. So he's someone, to me, is just not comfortable with saying it to the world, and he doesn't want to own up to it. But it's clear as day, anyone who really understands and who are not looking at it with hate, or who's looking at it unbiasedly. I'm looking at it unbiasedly, right? I'm looking at the dude like, yo, this dude has always screamed out a little something. But the fact that he keeps denying it is weird, because you're deceiving the world. You're telling them that you're this, or making them perceive that you're this, but you're really that. And I would actually respect you a lot more, and actually even watch you a lot more, if you actually own up to who you actually are. Because that's, to me, the power in actually being free. If you don't feel like you're free, that's actually homophobic, because you're actually feeling like, if you said that who you actually are, you feel like that's less than. You know what I'm saying? And that's disrespectful to the LGBTQ community. That's why I feel like Shannon Sharpe is disrespecting them as well. But that's a conversation for a different day, because people really don't want to understand and sit with it, because they feel like it's hate, and they feel like you're putting something on a quote-unquote black man who has never done anything for the black community. I hate when y'all put the black community stamp on these celebrities who don't do anything for the black community. Meek Mill don't do nothing for us. Russell Simmons don't do nothing for y'all. Usher don't do nothing for y'all. Diddy don't do nothing for y'all. None of these people don't do anything for y'all. Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, I can keep going down the list. Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey. What have they done for anybody? Literally, sit there and think about it. Why are these billionaires, some fortune, some maybe even have 500 million, some might have 200 to 100 to maybe even 50 million. Why have they not have done anything for their community? Think about that. But they'll go and run to y'all as if whenever they're on their last legs, like, oh my God, yes. And then y'all gonna support them and defend them as if they are the people you should defend, like Tamir Rice, or what's his name? There's a lot of people that have been done unjustly. Eric Garner. There's a lot of people who's been done unjust, right? In the history of just to where those conversations should be brought up. We should not bring up police brutality type conversations for these celebrities that are billionaires, millionaires who literally are buying people. Like, come on now, and making people sign NDAs. So Shannon Sharpe fired his stylist after all these conversations, and because Tasha K really exposed him. If you watch Tasha K, she's been on it, right? And people are just looking at her like she's what's the reason for, what is there to gain for us doing this, for anybody doing this? There's nothing for us to gain. People are actually getting more hate because people don't like people tell the truth. So people are going to think we're hating, so they're going to hate on us, thinking that we're hating. We're actually just doing journalistic news, which is just trying to report what we see. Tasha K reported that the stylist was there every single game. Every single game. When you look at Rick Ross, who's Rick Ross bringing to the game? He's bringing his newest chick, his baddest chick, showing her off, right? Shannon Sharpe comes and his stylist is dressed way more than the average stylist has ever got. You gotta understand, there's chains, there's diamond chains, there's Cuban links, Cuban. There is it looks like it's a lot of money on the dude, right? It look like what you would buy someone a gift, like a girl a gift, right? So that's just us basically explaining Shannon Sharpe, who's basically, to me, just deceiving. I don't like deceiving, right? So that kind of gets me into my next topic, because I was already saying their names, because this is like more of Candace Owens, talking about her losing respect for Jay-Z and Kanye West, for his pornography and writing pornographic lines or all of this stuff like that, and how Jay-Z really don't really help nobody, right? So here comes that group that I'm talking about, because everything will come out, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like before we even start this, I feel like Kanye is playing a role. I feel like he's exploiting white women, like kind of making them look like how they kind of like put the image of us, our people, just naked and all of the stuff like that. Like, keep showing her. Like, he's done it with Kim Kardashian. He's done it with kind of like, he makes it very porno, right? Like, he kind of has an addiction to it, and he even shows it in his documentary. So I don't think he even look at these white women like, because he said he loves himself. I think he loves himself way more than he loves them. But I think because he watches so much, that's why he has those type of non-melanated women. That's like kind of my theory. But the way he talks, he's very anti the system, the matrix, the people who hold you back. You know what I'm saying? And these conversations has to be started. And I always said that celebrities have to speak out first, so that the people that are like quote unquote regular people, like me and shit and stuff like that, can speak up and continue with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Continue the conversation, because we talk about it, but we're never going to get no traction, because we don't have the pool that the celebrities have. When they, like Ryan Garcia, can say one statement and the whole world is like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's covering it and calling him crazy. And you gotta understand, how is every single person who speaks like this crazy? And they're all saying almost the same exact thing. And you don't even never see Ryan Garcia and Kanye West with each other, but they're kind of saying the same thing, which is very interesting, right? But let's keep it going.
I grew up listening to Jay-Z. I would say Jay-Z and Kanye probably influenced on me. And there's a lot in Jay-Z's music that I'm so grateful for, because he made
I also have as well, by
it
the way,
clear on how to move in a business room, I would say.
Yeah.
So many of his lyrics talking about, this is how I think about it when they want me to do their shows. Like, how are they benefiting off of me, my brand? He's thinking like a boss. But then he gets up on stage and him and his wife tell people to vote for Hillary Clinton. I know Jay-Z is smart enough to know that's wrong. I know he's smart enough to know, because I listened to the DNA of his music. So if you got out, why don't you tell other people how to get out? And that's when I lost respect for Jay-Z. And it is what made me gain more respect for Kanye, because he is willing to say stuff that makes him unfavorable in Hollywood, where I think Jay-Z really cares about what Hollywood thinks about him. Do you know what I mean?
And that's very true. That's one thing that Kanye West does that is very admirable. He's willing to say the things that is going to get him pure hate. Like pure, and I mean utter hate from the media, his peers, everybody. While Jay-Z is one of those people who falls in line. He's a quiet, I think, what is he, a Sag? Or Capricorn? He's one of them things, right? I think he's a Sag. But either way, he's very quiet and evil. His evil is silent, and he's a snake. So he's gonna promote whoever pays him the most, because he doesn't care about leading his people to the right way, because he's all about his own money and himself. Even Kanye West said as some Kanye West said, I know I'm selfish, but Jay-Z is a different type of selfish. All right.
Absolutely. Jay-Z, unbelievably talented. Can't deny it. Beyonce, unbelievably
Absolutely.
talented. Can't deny it. Kanye West, I would say a genius.
Mhm.
Can't deny it. Unfortunately, you stood on someone who is very up and down with what he says.
Mhm.
Does that not, like, if I had a teammate that just kept going back and forth, it's kind of hard to like stand out. And like, let me give you an example. My mom and dad would come up to me and they'd be like, hey, if you're voting for Trump, don't talk about that. And I was like, damn, we got to a place where be careful on who you stamp your name like a quick fuck the next day. You could see when
he makes music like that is that he's addicted to pornography. He's talked about that. It's a huge societal ill. Like, it's not something that men normally talk about, like being addicted to pornography, being addicted to sex, talking about how he felt like he was introduced to pornography too early, right? And so when, in my view, I think that is an addiction in the battle that lives with him, and has come out in his music at certain times. I can't listen to that music. I do not.
Right, and that's why he said that. He even said that he would date a porn star. He even said it in his music. So that's why I'm saying Kanye is someone who fell victim to a lot of his early childhood stuff that we really don't know because people don't open up that much. But he did open up to an addiction, which a lot of people don't open up to their addictions, especially something like that, to where it has gotten all of us, especially in this day and age where everything is computerized. It's such an easy addiction to fall trapped to. And Kanye West is someone who that's why I feel like he's dating the girls that he dated because of his addiction. I swear, like I
listen to that music. I do not.
Doesn't that make it worse if you don't mind me asking?
No, but I'm very honest about the fact that I don't listen to pornographic
No,
lyrics.
no, not you. But like,
I can't listen to pornographic.
Come on, Candace, what are you doing?
And it's funny because it means that I've really raised my frequency because I can't hear it. It makes me cringe. I used to listen to it when I was young. It didn't impact me.
But
right. That's actually very true. When you listen to stuff when you're younger, especially when you're growing in the path of spirituality and all that stuff, you might be listening to the most worst things in the world, right? Until you start realizing, what am I feeding my soul? Like through my ears, one thing you use the most important senses, the 5 senses, so one of my most important ones, which is what I'm hearing, is directly connected to my brain. If all I'm hearing is WAP, for instance, with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, how are those lyrics gonna benefit me at all, other than make me do things that are not morally, I wouldn't say morally, but just it's not of the higher self. It doesn't bring me to a higher consciousness, a higher frequency, a higher way of thinking, to where to me the whole point of life is to continuously evolve. If we're not evolving, we're being disrespectful to our ancestors, because all they've done is evolve from one ancestor to the next ancestor. From the beginning of time, we've just gone up. But at the same time, it's like we're going backwards a lot in terms of, especially with creation and creativity. Music has never been like this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of music, to me, back in the day, a lot of those artists, to me, I thought they were smart, like geniuses. I thought they were like poets. I thought there was somebody who can, when they speak, you can tell that they're artists because the way they speak, they're well articulate. A lot of these new artists, they're not like that. But this is not about new artists, it's about Kanye West and his pornographic addiction. And these are addictions that take up on a lot of men. Well, I feel like Kanye West, you see the way that he's putting on his woman, he kind of puts her out there like a porn star. So a lot of the comments under his videos or his images and stuff like that, they are talking about that. Oh, why does she look like this? Why is she always half this and half naked and all of this stuff, right? Well, that's because that's what he's into. And that's why he dates the girls like Amber Rose, Kim Kardashians. Like he said, like he gets off on the fact that he has an addiction. Like there's not much more to say than that. That's why when he even had his one lyric, like she gonna take it up the A like a ventriloquist, I was like, man, he really is addicted to whatever he watches, because that's disgusting. But that's what he's into. But when he speaks about what he speaks about, which is going against the system, when he's the other version of himself, because he's a Gemini, so he has many faces, many personalities, many mixed emotions, mixed personalities. He even was on the song YNW Melly called Mixed Personalities. So he is this type of stuff. People want to label him bipolar. He probably is. He probably diagnosed. Who knows, right? But that doesn't take away from what he's saying. When he actually gets to speaking and preaching, when he preaches against the system, when he preaches against the companies and the people who take off, like once he become the billionaire, when he's talking about the specific religious group, they just literally shut off your water, they shut off your faucet. And that shows you how much control that religious group have, because they did the same thing. They crucify you. They did the same thing to Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? They made him take classes and talk to Jewish counselors and stuff like that off of literally a link. Not even him speaking like Kanye spoke. A link. Literally a link. Imagine posting a link and now you have to talk to a whole bunch of different religious people and say a public apology and you didn't mean to offend nobody off of a documentary that was 4 hours and they took 2 seconds of it and said that 2 seconds is anti-something. Well, how about the whole entire American history is anti-black? How about the Constitution is anti-black? How about the president is anti-black? How about the NBA commissioner is anti-black? He's making the league go European and disrespecting his black players and making them get suspended and getting all of this stuff. But you haven't seen not one single white player in the NBA get suspended yet. I have never seen one get suspended yet. Josh Giddey had a disgusting case against minors, or was alleged, and even in videos and pictures where you can see the girl is clearly younger than advertised, right? And that seamlessly got wiped away from the internet or talked about from the internet as much because the people, the puppets like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe and all of these other people who speak on the TV for mainstream people and the casuals to really give it light, they didn't go crazy on him. You know what I'm saying? They just treated it like it was just another good boy who messed up. And that's why I go against them as vigorously as I do. Because you guys might like Shannon Sharpe, but Shannon Sharpe doesn't protect black men. Shannon Sharpe destroys black men just like Stephen A. Smith does. And they exalt and they forgive and they say mental health for the white person. And that to me is coonery and token men. That is for the other side, that is not for your community. So how do they deserve the right to be called black community and have the favor that the black community should have when we go outside and we have to deal with injustice? They don't have to deal with that. They work for the injustice system. So they don't get the benefit of any of that stuff. So because this is going down the line of what I'm talking about, the injustice system, we basically have Lil Rod. I never got the opportunity to even talk about the Diddy situation because Diddy is someone who I've always felt has been disgusting and someone who should have always been caught, but always got away with it. You know what I'm saying? To me, he got away with killing Biggie Smalls. He got away with doing so many, like shooting a woman because, and then blaming it on some person named Shine, some rapper named Shine, and disrespecting everyone in his path to basically being great, quote unquote, because he uses talents, right? Because there's so many great talents that are attached to him. But because it's his name on top of it, it's just nasty. But there's talent around him, and he exploited them and used them like a farm while owning everything. See, the reason why I say he took Biggie Smalls' life is because there's an interview that I will find in one of my recent, one of my future pods episodes. I will exclusively do one on that because I have to. Because Biggie Smalls was talking about basically in the interview right before he got murdered, right? He was talking about he was leaving and creating his own record label, right? Because, and he also alluded to, remember the words that I'm using, alluded to and allegedly have said, I've heard him say verbatim, that Puff Daddy doesn't pay enough. He doesn't give enough coin. He doesn't pay you enough for what you're producing and what you're doing for your work. He doesn't give enough. So Biggie was like, man, I'm just tired of getting these pennies, these coins, man. I really want to get paid. Like, yeah, I'm all right, but I want to get, like, you know, what I'm owed. That's kind of what he alluded to. Right after that, he got murdered, right? But the whole time he was planning to do what he was doing for Puff, but then leave. Same thing for what I believe Tupac as well. They both was going to create their own record labels and create their own entities because the system, the music industry is evil. And they probably started realizing that they were worth way more than what they were being given. And people like Puff Daddy has made his name off of Biggie Smalls and then replaces him with Mace and stuff like that. Then gets 112. Then, you know, all of the story goes on of what he's constantly created off of this empire. But he also talks about how he owns everything, right? So we're going to play what Lil Rod said it for this 52 seconds of basically his publishing deals, or basically how he feels working with Diddy, and he only worked with Diddy for like a year. Imagine the people who work with him, like the Biggie Smalls, who worked with him for years before he got going. You know what I'm saying? Even the album Life After Death and so much music that was made after Biggie Smalls was dead. The one who profited the most off of it was Diddy, and his family, to me, hasn't been paid for what Biggie has done. Diddy has profited millions, hundreds of millions, when to me, Biggie's estate, his mother, his daughter, his children, his son, or whoever, all of them, his entire generation lineage should be covered forever. But I don't hear no stories about them being paid. I don't hear no, I just see Diddy constantly growing off of his name, always playing his music, you know, because he owns his rights, because he got Biggie Smalls when he was very, very young. And that's what they do. They get you young, and when you're hungry, and they make you sign deals before you can honestly understand what you're signing away.
Hello, everyone. Until further notice, I would not be performing at any gigs or anything like that. For security reasons, my family, friends, and everyone close to me just feels like there's a lot of potential threats, and everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable of, and it's very scary for myself, and it has me worried about my kids, and just sleeping with anxiety and different things like that. So just moving forward, just want to pause on everything until we know that it's clear and safe for me to come back outside of work. I appreciate you all for your love and support, and everybody that knows.
Right, so that's basically what he was saying, right? I think further in the video, the original video, I think that was one of the old Instagram videos that he's made prior to making this lawsuit. He was talking about the publishing and how much he's taken, but clearly you can see the fear. You can hear the fear, honestly, because you might not be able to see it, but you can hear the fear in his voice. You can hear the trembles and the anxiety and the stuff that comes along with working with someone as Diddy, who talks like this.
So I said, I run shit. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Lil Rod ain't worth giving this kingdom to if we don't control his publishing. I can solve his efforts with 3 other human beings. He's eating at our table, and I like his backstory, but you need to have other people. It's hard to work with him unless we have his power. He's a piece of shit human, but we do not need his talent.
The person who laughed and was smiling the whole entire time that person was reading was Diddy, because Diddy spirit, his entity, is someone who is very evil and disgusting. You know what I'm saying? He's very disrespectful. And I think he's someone who also, I believe he threw a bottle at his manager's head or something like that. He has anger issues. There's videos of him talking about that he was angry at some DJ who played a sound by accident while he was doing an interview, and said that the old me, he said verbatim, the old me would have threw you out the window. Right? That's legitimately what he said. And I'm like, what? Who says that in that type of setting after just laughing? So he reminds me of, you know how the Joker is insane and they just laugh after? Like, he's that. Like, it's something chemically wrong with him, Diddy, honestly, and I feel like now it's catching up to him. And he's going to try to stay facing a whole bunch of celebrities that are tied to him, because he was tied to he's tied to the whole entire hip hop. It's like Africa Bambaataa to Hassan Campbell. Like, he can't attack. Hassan Campbell is a victim of what basically this whole entire system is. Like, there is a system that destroys these people and that manipulates these people, and they use these powerful black people to go inside these communities to destroy and to make them think that you can get at that level by doing this and doing that, but never tell them how to really get on. Kind of what Candace Owens is saying. Like, you're going to make them go vote Hillary Clinton when that's not even the right vote. That's an evil person, right? So that's kind of what we have that we have in a situation with Diddy. He's kind of like that. Like, he kind of just went through to get so many connections and networking to where, like, because he has probably so much stuff on different people, and because they know how evil he is and the things that he can get away with to you don't want no problems with him. Like, so, like, no big major celebrities is really talking bad about him. No journalists, blogs, none of that stuff is talking, not even bad, like serious, like truth about him. He is the most evil entity. One of the most evil entities. He's probably the most evil entity, him and Oprah Winfrey, for the black community, but one of the most evil entities in the world, because the white community has so much more than Diddy. They have way worse than just Diddy. Diddy is the worst for our community. Our community, the ones that are engraced on the other side, like that works with the whites. Diddy is one of them. Oprah is one of them. That's how they became billionaires. Is because they went to the other side and they become them. And then they get their tactics. So they'll take the white privilege tactics, the white supremacist tactics, and that's how a white supremacist will act. And that's how a white politician or one of those people that's on top of the world, Epstein, that type of energy. They have islands, legit islands. They have enough money to do this. Jay-Z and Beyonce have islands. Nobody want to talk about that, but they have islands as well. A lot of these celebrities, especially at that level, they're not of the black community when they're black. To me, they're of the white community, of the bourgeoisie, of the industry, of the circle. They're not a part of us. They're not us. You see what I'm saying? They're you can tell who's with us and who's not against us. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. But a lot of people don't realize brainwashing has happened, right? So for all these years, they've glorified and they've brainwashed people to love Oprah Winfrey and Diddy and made them think that they were doing stuff for people. Like Oprah Winfrey's school in Africa, all those girls got, assaulted. And their lives were ruined as soon as they tied their names to Oprah. But I feel like that was a sacrifice, and that was something that she knew that she was doing on purpose, right? So let's go back into the Shannon Sharpe situation because we do have a response from Mike Epps, and Mike Epps did respond to this as I speak. I've seen the video that drops that Mike Epps responds to the fact that Shannon Sharpe, because I'm tying this all together, that's basically what I'm saying. Diddy, Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Hanks, Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, all of these people are all together. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, all of these people are tied together. They're all a group, and they do the most evilest, and I mean the most evilest things. And a religious group that start with the letter J. They're a part of that as well. The Catholic Church. There's a bunch of people that do stuff with little people, right? And they drink bloods, they do stuff, right? They sacrifice stuff. They do stuff very evilly to get on top. But that's the conversation for a different day. Let's keep it going with basically Mike Epps basically saying how Shannon Sharpe is responding to him the way he did, but didn't respond to Corey Holcomb. And also Steven Jackson calls out Shannon Sharpe, like, and saying, quote unquote, you only get mad like that when it's when someone says the truth.
Not
like when there's some truth to it. Like
know.
you only get upset when someone says the truth. Like basically what I said in my prior response when I said that about his statement that he said about his grandma, why I respond to something that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? If it's a lie, don't respond. So the way he responds, you can tell it's true. So let's go ahead and play that little clip before we let y'all get out of here. Appreciate y'all for watching Alpha Spiritual Talk. But let's go ahead and watch
That's
this.
what this is. We're not selling drugs. We're not in the underworld. So there's some guidelines and rules to the business that we're in. And at the end of the day, we got families, we got kids and stuff like that. So sometimes we can get out of line, man. And me personally, I can get out of line a little bit. Sometimes, well, I said some stuff that I did. Some stuff I shouldn't have said. Some of the stuff was good. It was funny. Everybody was laughing. But then when I went back and looked at it, I said, yeah, I kind of crossed the line a little bit. But when you cross the line, you're already there. So I just didn't expect the brother to get so mad about it, And then, like I said on the podcast, I said a lot of people have been talking about it. I mean, I seen it on Saturday Night Live. I seen a lot of Corey Holcomb, different ones. I just was wondering why, you know what I mean?
You got singled out.
And then, he told me, he was like, you know what, Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was because it was you.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because guess what?
I fuck with you.
These people out here, they'll damn near do what you tell them to do. So when he said that, I said, damn, you're right, man. I didn't look at it that way at first. And it just brought some light to me, man. And, I felt bad about it. And I wanted to meet up with him and personally look him in the face and tell him that I was sorry. Because I've been messing with people and talking about him since I was a kid. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, I hold my breath when I was a kid and say, I'm about to do it. And I'll talk about the bully. I'll talk about the dude that shoot everybody and all that and say something to him that don't nobody say, man, look at them shoes and bump. And everybody be laughing. He be looking like, I'm finna kill you. So that's my thing. That's what I do. I crack jokes.
Right.
On anybody.
Here, you're right.
On myself.
Got to be able to laugh at yourself.
If I go on camera, if I'm doing that, that's what I told him too.
But if they jokes, why you got to apologize if they jokes?
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, man, it wasn't Shucky Ducky telling the joke. It was Mike Epps that got a 5-season sitcom on Netflix. It was Mike Epps that got a movie out with Snoop right now. And it was Mike Epps that got a special coming out on Netflix. It's Mike Epps that been in the business for 30 years. It's Mike Epps that, you know.
Your name holds some weight.
Yeah, so you know, it was Mercedes-Benz versus Hyundai.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mercedes-Benz said something about me. I got to say something about what he said. You know, that's what happened, man. So we shook hands, we made cool. And one thing I wanted to show these kids.
That's another way to do it.
I wanted to show these kids that guess what? No matter how I felt about him and how he felt about me, that guess what? This don't have to end in violence. And I'm not about to prove myself to nobody and mess what I worked so hard for to show somebody I'm a real nigga.
Nobody's too big to be talked about, though. You did the right thing, but everybody can be talked about.
I'm not talking about everybody.
Yeah,
I have talked about everybody.
See, Steven Jackson is he's like, he wouldn't apologize. I wouldn't apologize either to no Shannon Sharpe. Who is he, right? Like, who do you think you are? One thing I hate about Shannon Sharpe is once he got to the quote unquote this top, right? Or metaphorically, this top, excuse me, he's become very arrogant and ignorant and just acting like his stuff don't stink. And I hate people that's like that. And I've noticed that he did that on Undisputed right before he got fired. That's why they fired him. They fired him for insubordination. They fired him because he came in there. Not only was Skip being disrespectful, but Skip was also being disrespectful because Shannon Sharpe was being arrogant. A lot of people didn't see these moments, but as someone who was watching Undisputed for a long time, almost every single episode I've seen after a certain type of time where I guess he must have had his own solo shows and he must have been working on it from the side. And because he felt like he can talk any type of way. And then he started cutting Skip off every time he felt like he said something wrong. He started to basically step over line in terms of what there was already like this boundary already. Skip was basically like this master and you were basically a slave. But then you started to go over the slave and the master and thought that you could talk back to the master. And that's when master screamed at you and told you, no, you are not Tom Brady. You are not the greatest white boy to ever live. That's what basically happened. And then you lost your mind because you forgot that you were a slave. And that's basically what happened, and that's why he got off for the whole entire thing. But the arrogance was starting to build because of the fact that he felt like he was getting a bigger himself, an entity. So how everybody else, the average comedian, every comedian makes jokes about every single person, right? Even rappers like Lil Dicky, Eminem, they all do joke raps and joke stuff. Everybody makes a play on something. So the fact that nobody could talk about you looking like Medea, acting like every the person that was on the Cleveland show, the male, it was like the auntie uncle, whatever it was called. It was like a male, but like it was the auntie, right? It's like that type of thing. So he called himself Uncle Shay Shay, but it's really like Auntie Shay Shay. Like it's a girl name. So it's the male aunt, like it's the male female thing. You're very much clear as day that like that's the first observation people make of you. So it's not fair for people not to be creative and play off of that. Like, who are you? How are you above being joked on or satire? Like shows like South Park and SNL and Family Guy and all of this stuff, they make jokes about y'all. And even I seen American Dad had him on the show legitimately and made jokes about him on the Denver Broncos. So all of a sudden nobody can talk about you? That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? That's gatekeepish. And I told you guys, they learned these tactics from the upper whites, the 500 millionaire whites, not the average white that you might see at the store or something like that, because they have white privilege and white supremacy tactics, but they don't know how to use it like the ones that are up there at like 300 million, 700 million, $1 billion. They know how to use that white privilege, you know what I'm saying? Because they've got to that level and they've done a bunch of messed up things to get to that level. You guys got to understand, Shannon Sharpe is gatekeepish. He is extremely evil, but you guys don't see it because he gave y'all a personality or something like that. I don't know what y'all see in him, but I like Cat Williams, so I like the Cat Williams interview because Cat Williams carried the interview. Y'all like Shannon Sharpe because of the Cat Williams interview, but not giving credit solely to Cat Williams, who literally made the interview great. He made the interview. Like it wouldn't have been good if it was anybody else, because Cat Williams literally asking himself questions, not Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe kept making him try to get drunk. He couldn't respond. Go rewatch it. I already watched it, and I can tell y'all what happened. He couldn't respond to anything Cat Williams was saying that was profound. He couldn't make Cat Williams speak deeper, like how that racist Joe Rogan did, right? But he and that was Cat Williams' tactics to go over there and do that too, by the way. So the way Cat Williams is moving, he's using the Illuminati and destroying them, right? He's going over there and spewing all of the real stuff to the world, on the Illuminati platforms, right? And that's what he even said in Shannon Sharpe stuff. Your alliance to losers just doesn't really fit you, right? But he's basically saying you're a loser because you're aligned to losers. And he talked about every single person that was on Shannon Sharpe's show. And he said, Shannon, I don't really trust you. Like, that's basically what he's saying. He told Shannon off in a very articulate way. People didn't even realize. And Shannon sat there because Shannon likes little people. Shannon loved him. Like, he wasn't even paying attention to what he was saying. He just kept getting drunk and was loving the way he was looking at Cat Williams. That's why when Eddie Griffin said that stuff, he was very right on the fact that why are you wearing your clothes like that, having your legs open for Cat Williams? That's very weird. But either way, these are stuff that goes on, and these are the tactics that goes on, and people's going to take it as hate, but it's really the truth that just comes out authentically. And then because you guys are programmed and don't want to hear about your favorite celebrities in any type of way that's not straight up writing them, it comes out as hate in y'all ears. Like, y'all ears perceive it as hate because it's not what y'all want to hear. Think about that. It's like, think about that. It's like tasting something, you don't know how it tastes, but it might have a tang to it. But this is how it really tastes. It's like a twang on it. And you're like, ooh, it got a twang to it. But you're going to hate the fact that you didn't know how it tastes. So, you know what I'm saying? It's the truth. Like, that's how it really tastes, but it got a twang on it. So now you're like, ooh, this hating. Ooh. But that's what I'm saying. That's the analogy that I can give y'all for that. That's how I break that down. But it's another great episode of Alpha Spiritual Talk, episode 10. But we're covering basically current events of just what was going on within this past week. It's March 7th, so I guess the week of like from February 28th to March 7th is really what I was just covering certain topics. But I really enjoy if you guys really listen to it all the way through. I really enjoy the people who like, who follow, who comment, who share, whoever. Like, I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. It's been your boy Alpha Spiritual Talk, where we talk with the spirit. Make sure you really meditate. You focus on your peace of mind. You do some yoga. If you can't meditate, try to read a book. Just try to exercise your mind. Try to go outside and walk early in the morning or during the sun shifts, so like the afternoon or the sunset or the sunrise. Like these, the sun dial moments, and then the moon and the star moments, meaning early in the morning, like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Just try to pray and pray very profoundly. Pray with all of your spirit. Pray with all of your might. Ask the ancestors, the spirit guide, the Rishas, the Most High to continue to protect and guide you. Continue to pray for an abundance of health, wealth, happiness, success, love, peace of mind, spiritual, celestial, success and abilities. Whatever your talents are, your gifts are, add those to those abilities. You know what I'm saying? Build yourself up. Find inner peace, self-reflect, go within self to find self, to reveal self, to heal self. So healing is a lonely road. It's a road that's going to be daily. It's going to be every single day. And this is what Alpha Spiritual Talk is really about. But we're talking about the whole entire current events, and we always tie this into spirituality because it's a spiritual warfare. And the whole purpose of this show or this podcast or this whole entire sentiment is to show y'all the evil wicked of the world and why we have to tap in more and more of ourselves to ourselves and heal ourselves, because the whole entire world that's around us very much wants us to fall and stay further away from self and to celebrate everyone else. And that's the purpose of Alpha Spiritual Talk, is to destroy all of these things, to fight against all of these things, to uplift people, who are down and feel like they're lonely and feel like they're depressed and feel like they're anxious and PTSD is taking a hold of them. It's a daily battle. You have to fight every single day. You have to work on your mind every single day. What you consume is what you become. What you see is what you become. You gotta understand these things. So you gotta work hard on making sure that everything you see, feel, and touch, your five senses, are all something positive. So continue to work on yourself, continue to believe in yourself, look in that mirror and tell you love yourself, because this is Alpha Spiritual Talk. We talk with the spirit, and that's what the spirit wanted me to tell you. Peace.